Let's get more now on our top story on the unfolding hostage crisis in Algeria. Youcef Bouandel is a professor of international affairs here at Qatar University. So what we do know at this stage is that Algerian helicopters have indeed bombed the gas plant in East Algeria, trying to free the hostages. We do not have a confirmed tally of how many people have died or how many have been rescued. There are numbers out there, though. But why would the Algerian government have opted for this approach instead of negotiating with the hostage takers?
I think they began negotiating this morning, but for a short period of time. But the Algerian government wanted to send a very clear signal to these groups that they are not going to negotiate with terrorists. These people had intent to hurt Algeria and its partners, especially after what happened in Mali and with the flow of weapons from Libya following the demise of Gaddafi's regime. And the security situation in the south of Algeria has been very vulnerable recently. Last week, the prime ministers of both of Algeria, Tunisia and Libya met in the border town of Ghadames in order to look at the security threats in the region, and this is part of what has been going on.
Now, members of a group calling itself the Masked Brigade say the Algerians opened fire at the militants trying to leave the complex with their hostages, either leaving the complex altogether or moving them from one end of it to the other. How big is this gas field, and how far might they have gone if they indeed were trying to leave?
I don't think they would have gone. Far, because it's the terrain is the desert. It's about 100 kilometers from the Libyan borders. The information I have is that these people were trying to move within the compound from one area to the other. That would have made life much more difficult for the Algerians to intervene militarily. And
this compound was surrounded, wasn't it, by the Algerian army?
So indeed, it was surrounded. So basically, the hijackers, if I can call them that, had no way to escape whatsoever.
The Algerian government then isn't commenting at this stage as to exactly what did happen, but if it did overreact or act a bit too fast in directing its helicopters to bomb this area, how potentially embarrassing might it be for them, especially if, as we do hear reports of all these foreigners being killed, do actually get confirmed?
Obviously, I think the Algerian authorities found themselves in a catch-22 situation. They're doomed if they do something, and they're doomed if they don't do anything. Obviously, the situation was very, very difficult for them. They must have been under a lot of pressure from foreign governments, especially the France, UK, and the US, and so on, and others whose nationals have been held hostage in Algeria. The second thing is that the Algerians did not want to be perceived as soft on terrorists, given the experience of the last 20 years or so, and they have decided to go for this particular option. It might not have been the best option at that moment in time, but they went for it.
How much does this hostage-taking, though, have to do with Algeria's decision to allow French planes to use its airspace en route to Mali? Incidentally, a decision that was confirmed, that was announced not by the Algerian government, obviously, but by the French a few days ago.
This is very telling. I think that the decision of the Algerian government to allow the French to use its airspace have contributed a great deal to this particular operation, but they are, and like you said, the decision was announced by the French as opposed to the Algerians. But on the other hand, the Algerians would say that they are part of the international community, and they're responding to Security Council Resolution 2085, which authorized France basically and the international community to do something. But I think to say it's just a reaction to this intervention in Mali is too simplistic. The flow of weapons from Libya played a very important role, especially the most sophisticated weapons. But this particular attack suggests that it is very, very well planned, and I guess it took more than a few days to plan, given the tight security on oil installations in Algeria.
Professor Youcef Bouandel, thanks very much.
Thank you.